Hello, today we're going to do a test run for price tags. We got 3 types of price tags, 2 square types and 1 hanger with 2 cut-off corners. We're going to start the labeling part. I already loaded the label into the machine. We have to make sure that the label here is a little bit over the edge because they're quite short labels. Only like about 1.4 centimeters high. We start the conveyor belt. Okay, that was the loader from the last run. The input hopper is already started. Sometimes it can take some time till the next product is spent, as actually it really depends how they are put into the input hopper, because how the system works, it pulls out the lowest ticket onto the conveyor belt and dispenses it onto the conveyor belt. We might have to readjust the input hopper a little bit. Okay, let me just check. Sometimes it dispenses too. So what you can do is here, just open these 2 screws, get the separator down a little bit and fasten those screws again. Okay. Second option you have, if it dispenses 2 cards onto the conveyor belt, you can also decrease the speed of the input feeder. Make sure that there is no backlog here, that there's no bottleneck, and these are all stacked. And they will jam here. The best is you just put it on the edge of a table and just drop them into a big carton, or just put some small carton here and then remove them fastly. And if you need those tags for production, you want them fastly going anywhere. Can you please sort them and put them back in the conveyor belt? Back in the input hopper. Just check if they're all correctly aligned. You can just continuously load the machine during operation. Just continue to stack products. If you put a carton here, they should all fall right on top of each other. Okay, so normally they should be quite well sorted. Also, as you can see, positioning here is pretty much always the same. Okay, now we're not right in that square. We would have to change the positioning here. Okay, that was from the old run, from the first test runs, just on the table. These are the new ones, as you can see. Some have already 2 stickers on them because we ran them several times. Okay. And you can see that the tolerance is just about 1 millimeter. It's very accurate, the positioning. Please, madam, may I just give you those? As you can see here, here's the counter. This one actually resets whenever you turn off the machine. As you can see here now, it's a little bit too high. So as the product's moving this way, you want the label to be dispensed a little bit later, right? Just a little bit, tiny bit. You can just do that on the fly, okay? So now you have that right in the corner, right? Since the labels are actually quite... Now these already have... as you can see, this was the positioning of the old label, this is the position of the new label. Now we're right on that square. As the label itself is quite short, it is quite difficult to control the position of the label and make it 100% even, 100% level, okay? Because it's quite short, so there's a little bit tolerance, so the label could be a little bit crooked. We try to sort this out by using thicker application rolls. We're going to do a couple of test runs whether we can improve that, but I want to make sure, because of the shortage of the height of the label. So if there's any chance you could increase the height of the label by 3-4 millimeters, it would improve the final result. If you can live with a little bit of a crooked result at the end of the day, this should also be perfectly fine. I mean, it's quite leveled, you know, but it could edge a couple of degrees. Okay, thank you very much. Now we test run it through. We're gonna check the machine now. Let me show you. To change the format, okay, what you have to do is, okay, also as you can see here, there's still like 2 or 3 cards in there. If there's not enough weight in the input hopper, it will not dispense the product, alright? Just important to know. So so it might always leave the last 4 to 5 products in the input hopper due to the low weight of them, okay? So what you're going to do now, I'm going to change the format. Can you please open the input feeder on the other side? Okay, you got these here, these 2 screws here on both sides. So you can open and widen the input feeder or the other tags, alright? Make sure they run in there smoothly. And once you did that, just put the first product in, shut the input feeder down using the button over here. No, ich hab schon gemacht. And then you have to adjust these 2 sidebars. These have 2 screws on both sides. Adjust these sidebars. Okay. Now you can feed the first product. Can you push the product a little bit onto the conveyor belt that it's correctly fed? That it's fed in there? Doesn't run in? Okay, then there's maybe not. Okay. Seems that those cardboards are actually thicker than the other ones. So what you have to do is, you open these 2 screws here, okay? And then here, this is the separator, okay? This makes sure that only one product is dispensed. When you fasten this screw, it will let thicker products through, okay? Like this cardboard at the moment. If you unfasten the screw, okay, now it's good, alright? Just went through, alright? Just push it, put it there. Okay, so we now fasten those screws again. Let the product in. Please push the product onto the bed. Okay, wait. Okay, now we got the product here. And now we can check, okay, it should go smoothly through. Now this is too wide. This can be a little bit more open, so it has a little bit of tolerance, alright? Okay, but it should be as fastened that these L forms, yeah, keep the product correctly in place. Should be not too much tolerance, especially here on the label dispensing side. Please put it in there again. Okay, now it has really very small tolerance. And now, as you can see here, the square here for the label is not in the middle. It's actually a little bit to the right and much lower than the other ones. Let me see. Starting from the edge. No, actually it's higher when you compare directly, because this was the last ones we labeled. So this one has to go quite higher. So what we have to do is we position the label sensor a little bit more to the left. We want the label earlier to be dispensed, okay? But we want the label also to go further in that direction. So what we have to do, we raise the slide here, and then we go counterclockwise with that wheel down here, okay? Which then changes the X position, as you can see here, okay? So you can change the X position. Actually, the whole labeling part here, the whole part moves, as you can see, okay? So you look from the top. If you're happy with the result, get it back down. You have to make sure, actually, these 2 green wheels here apply pressure onto the label, but they should run right above the conveyor belt. So just smoothly remove them, move them over the conveyor belt again. Make sure that they run, and then you lower the slide again, and just let it smoothly drop onto the conveyor belt. So when you turn on and start the conveyor belt again, make sure these are spinning, okay? These apply additional pressure onto the label. They should spin. They should also, because the label might block the product, they should also pull out the product and press additional pressure onto the conveyor belt, right? So now we're going to start the labeling part. Going to do the first test. Oh, sorry, my bad. Okay, make sure. Turn it off when you change something. I use it in a way that I have to, of course, dispense this way. If we dispense it this way, I have to go in the lower direction, okay? So, sorry, let me just do that again. Same procedure, just the other way around. Okay, remove those, bring them back into position. dispense the product again. Start the conveyor belt, the label button, and then let's see how it goes. Okay, make sure when you fiddle around here, here is the product sensor, right? I just moved my hand over the product sensor and it dispensed an additional label, okay? So just turn off what you do, you turn off the start-stop button so the conveyor belt still spins, and then you can remove those stickers, okay? This is the tricky one here, because that one is transparent, you can't even see it. Make sure that when the label button is set on start, okay? Make sure that you don't fiddle around here right over the product button, because it will dispense some labels, okay? It happened to me a couple of times. So that's just good to know. Just turn it off when you change something there. And now we're actually good to go. Pretty much changed everything we need. Yes, thank you, madam. Please, let me just put them in here. So, that one's turned on. Start the labeling part. Okay, you can see the distance here was not really good. Let's just see whether it plays itself out. We could reduce the speed of the conveyor belt to make sure that was still too early. Reduce the input hopper, and the gap between the products will increase. You need a gap between the products, or will not know when the next product is there, so when it has to dispense a label. Better increase it, of course, the throughput is less now, but it's much more reliable, okay? When the products are too tight lined next to each other, make sure just decrease here with that speed belt button here. Just go counterclockwise to decrease the speed. You will still get a throughput of 3,000 to 4,000 pieces per hour, okay? It's still very fast. You can see accuracy is very good. Hello, today we're going to do the test run for the LAB500 for 3 types of price tags. We get 2 square types and one with the cut-off corners. The price tags now are like 1 centimeter, 1.4 centimeters in height, and about 3.5 centimeters wide. Okay, we're going to start the labeling part, then the input feeder, and the automatic feeder. Please press the button. We have to make sure that there's a gap between the products. We can regulate the input feeder separately, as it has a separate motor. This really depends on the type of tag you're using, okay? These go quite smoothly, so you can actually feed them quite fast, okay? If the traction is different, like the carton type, you have to reduce the speed of the input feeder to make sure that there are not two cardboards, two tags put onto the conveyor belt, okay? In this case, the machine will shut down. Okay. Something like that happens. Please make sure, as you can see, the sidebars are not perfectly in place. They have a certain L form to press the product onto the conveyor belt, okay? They were not tight enough right now. Should be wide enough so the product can easily be fed onto the conveyor belt, but they should also not be too tight that it jumps out. So now I've made it too tight again. Das liegt aber daran, wir müssen es noch machen. This is the third and final test run for the price tags. I just changed the labeling position. We want the label to go right here in that square. Turn on the labeling part. Let's see if the position is correct. Actually, it was correct. Oh yeah, there you go. It's covering always right the square, as you can see here. Every now and then there's one that's a little bit crooked, but I think it's definitely within the tolerance.